Livestream should be up and running. At least it should be in very short order. Let me just work with I'm just working with a few little updates and changes to the live stream, just for the benefit of, well, my little kit build. So, hopefully this will work. Thought I'd give you a quick update on some of the model kits that I'm doing. This will then segue into a quick session of Cold Waters, and maybe Dangerous Waters, depending on what I've got available. So, I thought since the last time I did any builds, you might want to see some of the things I've been up to, some of the planes that I've kind of been working on. Not just planes though, cars, and a few new trees as well. So, I'll bring them, you guys might have seen, oh fuck it, I'll just bring these up now while it still works. You guys will have to bear with me. I'm running an application on my phone that turns it into a webcam. It's a little flaky at times, so if the picture cuts out or weird shit goes sideways, then sorry. But here we go. It means I don't have to mess around too much with my applications here. So that's the last thing I built, which the F4. There's my 688. I built that ages ago. Oh, it's not looking too straight. There we go. There's a 144 shuttle, which I'm sure you've seen before. There's my T-64 BV. I think it's a BV. It's a 135. That there is my Thud. I believe that's 135 as well, or 132. What I do know is that this guy here and this guy here are very, very close to each other in terms of scale. There's my little 172 Spad, little Spad 13. That's the thing that most recently got me into builds again, and I think I'll show you the most recent two that I've done. This little puppy here is a Lightning, the English Electric Lightning. It's not decaled, so I'll need to work on that. And similarly, I've got my little A6 here as well. That's looking pretty sweet actually. I just need to get some decals on that and tidy up some of the red paint trim. This here is the Williams F14B that I had been working on beforehand. I was doing it as part of my live broadcast, but several of the recordings failed, which meant I was not actually able to get you the full build log. So I cut that series short. I'm hoping to do a slightly better job of it this time around with the following two things that came in the post. So we've got that one first. That's a 1350 Oscar II class. That there is the same scale as my 688, so they're going to look really nice next to each other. And not to be outdone, I managed to find that in the same scale, and I'm thinking after this I will try and find myself a Grisha, a Krivak, something like that, to kind of help with me finding these things. And I'm just going to close down my iPhone application because it's a bag of shit, and I'll just turn this over this way for you. So bear with me while I try and get this all in. So that's my my next thing that came in the build log. That I'm really looking forward to. It looks like a quite simple paint job. White, some grey, a darker shade of grey, some black, and some red. I need some copper paint for my prop, but I have that. Doesn't look like it'll be too difficult, and it comes with a pair of little SH60s. Not sure how I feel like that, because strictly speaking, FFG7, the OHP, shouldn't have had SH60s. Should have had SH2s, but yeah, it is what it is. And then I'm actually kind of looking. This one should be really easy. If you guys want to get into model kits and you're not sure what to be building, submarines are actually a really good one to do to get things going, because usually you need 2 or 3 colours of paint. Detail wise, they're pretty simple normally. There's not too many fiddly parts, especially if you don't want to do it with like the conning tower full of masts. You can have it, there's usually an option to have it in sailing configuration like this. This particular model also has the option of having the diving planes flush, so you could even do that if you wanted to. And you don't even have to have all these doors open. You could close them off as well and just have it in sailing configuration. They come with a little stand to let you sit it on. The OHP does have an option that has like a what's known as a waterline level, which basically gives you a flat bottom rather than the full keel. But because it comes with a stand, I'm going to give it the full keel, because why the fuck wouldn't I? I mean, come on. None of them are remote controlled. That's not something that I'm into. And at 1350, to be perfectly honest, I think that's perfectly reasonable. What frightened me the most, just to give you an idea of scale, right? Now bear in mind, it's not been modelled. Okay, but just to give you an idea of how big these things are, that is my 688 class attack sub. That's it there for you. Okay, just to give you an idea of the size of what we're dealing with. I'll put this to the side for a second. Now bear in mind that I've already popped these boxes open just to check the contents, make sure nothing looked broken. I'm going to give you the hull, because they actually send you the entire hull in two halves. You just kind of push them together and glue them. They're really, really easy to build. They're stupid easy to build compared to some of the things that I've done. I'll somehow manage to fuck them up, I'm sure, but that's where we're at. So I'm going to put this back in the camera shot. And bear in mind, these are on the same scale, so theoretically, like for like, they're the same size. There's my 688 class, okay, decent sized vessel. There are certainly smaller attack submarines that were present in the US fleet, skipjacks, scorpions, things like that. That there, on the same scale, is the Oscar II. Holy shit! And we're still missing the screws off the back there, so it's got a little bit extra to go, with like things like rudders and shit like that. This thing's fucking huge. So that's going to be fun. That's mostly going to be an exercise in painting. Now, why this one will always look a little rough with things like the waterline not being very even, because I did this without any masking tapes. I did this completely freehand. I'm very proud of that. Even though it looks a little shoddy, because this was like one of the first things that I got that put me back into modelling after taking like a 10-year hiatus. So it'll always look a little rough and a little shoddy, but I'm proud of it for that reason, because I knew that I did this with nothing but glue and paint and decals. Literally just, I think I borrowed one of Mrs. Ghost Dog's nail files to file off the edges, and I was bending the sprues to get them off. Like, I was doing this proper, like, not even a decent craft knife. So I'm happy with how that turned out. All things considered. This one, I'm really going to take my time with, because I want it to look a lot better, obviously, and because it's a bigger vessel, I think that should be easier, actually. I can clamp things down, I actually don't own a pair of clamps. Everything I do with my model kits is just press fit and held down with pressure until the glue sets. It's great. I can just sit with one hand like this and the other hand in a book, and it's all good. Now, one of the other thing I'll quickly show you is the inside of the Hazard Perry. You'll have to bear with me. I'm trying to fit all of this in one shot. Because bear in mind, once again, this is the same size, and the overall length of the vessel is pretty close to the size of an Oscar II, actually. In fact, well, slightly longer if you consider overall length, like from here to here. So scale-wise, I'm happy with that. It looks sensible. It comes with a pair of little SH-60 helicopters, one for stowage and one for ready to go. It comes with a stand. It comes with a whole bunch of railings and radar masts and all sorts of ESM shit on the corner. There's a lot of really small, finicky parts here. This is going to take forever and a day. And then at the end, if I wanted to, the person who made the model kit on the side here hasn't done it. But there's all kinds of like guy lines and ropes and things like that going up the mast. I'm pretty sure I could do a little bit of that with just some plain old sewing lines, just to help make that look that little bit more realistic. And yeah, I'm feeling really good about making that. I can have that, my 688 and my Oscar II just kind of side by side, maybe on another shelf. I'll need to actually probably go buy another shelf now. So that's fun. That's fun. Um, I won't move the webcam around, but up close and personal, that kit has so much fine detail in it for its size. I'm really impressed. It's initially I'm looking really good. The guys at Academy that made this have got their shit wired tight. It's looking good. And that's not to take away from Hobby Boss. I mean, it was a Hobby Boss kit that I got for the 688, and that was good as well. This will be great as well. I still haven't decaled either the last three models I was working on, so I haven't decaled my car, I haven't decaled my A6, and I haven't decaled my Lightning. So that's on the to-do list. I haven't forgotten about it, but that's where I'm at. So, because for me, building them is more fun than decaling them. Decaling is an exercise in frustration for me. But one thing I'm really happy with, I mean, I've got to say, like, the paintwork for my car, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. There's a lot of really clean lines thanks to the fact I'm now using masking tape. And it could be better, it could be, but I'm overall happy with it. I think that set me up quite nicely for getting some really good work done on these two model kits here. So, tomorrow, I have the last day of a 3-day weekend with my wife. She's currently in Aberdeen with her best friend, enjoying thrill rides and stuff like that. Basically just having a good old time, and basically getting some time away from everything, decompressing, and enjoying our first day as a 30-year-old. So give her a big well. So everyone in the channel, give my wife a big happy birthday. I get a day to myself tonight at 7 o'clock local time. It's currently at 3:30 local time. Will be flight night, as always, with UAF. For those of you who watched last week's episode, we had a problem with the server during a massive close air support and airborne interdiction thing involving A-10s and Block 30s in Korea. We'll be redoing that mission effectively. We're going to take the last results as good and basically have this as the second sortie, if you will. So we're going to meta game a little bit and say that everyone got back safe, and the kills are the kills as they stood. We were unable to secure any more targets. We've gone home, rearmed, turned the planes around, and taken back off into the sky again. Kind of how we're running that one, and hopefully the server will be a bit more stable this time. We got to the bottom of it. We believe it won't happen again. It was an issue to do with the server trying to do updates at an inopportune moment. That shouldn't be happening this time. So fingers crossed on that one. As for today, well, as I've already told you, I am a gentleman of leisure today. I normally work at the weekends, and I have a 3-day weekend. So I'm gonna shut the stream down for about 30-40 seconds. I am going just to let this video render, and then it's time to get the hat back on, get some cold waters on the go, and then I think I'll show off the new build for Dangerous Waters. If there's anyone who's interested and wants to play along on a multiplayer version, on a multiplayer game, we can maybe try and do that. Or if there's a decent scenario I could play around with, then we can do that too. And I hopefully want to show off the new vessel that's in 1.42. Cobra, if you are within the sound of my voice, version 1.42 of Reinforced Alert is now released. You can now sail the Mike class. Yep. They've also done some tweaks to the weaponry systems and a few other bug fixes. I'll go through the changelog when I can be bothered. But it's good. And that's about all I've got for model kits today. I'll eventually get round to decaling the other guys. I will probably, before I do that, just start building the... you know what, I'll let the chat decide what you want to see me build first. Oh, there goes a model kit. Going for a fly. Yeah, I'll let the chats decide if they want to see me build the frigate or the submarine first. I'll be getting one of them underway this weekend, and I will send you some progress updates. So leave your comment down below in this channel for what you want to see me build. If you want to see me build the Oscar II, the Kursk, or if you want me to build the Oliver Hazard Perry class FFG7. Dealer's choice. Until then, I will catch you in about 30 seconds once I get set up for a version of a game of Cold Waters. After we've played a little bit of that, we'll see what times look like. If I still have time before UIF tonight, I will shift over to another game, Dangerous Waters, Steel Beast. We'll just see how things go. See where the interest for the channel is. Okay? We'll catch you later.